Hi Gemini, this is Amanda from By Luna's Light. Welcome to my reading. I've decided to do a general read for the new moon that's coming on December 14th. It's only a couple days away, so this will hopefully give some insight into what you need to know for that. So I am new to this YouTube video for doing tarot readings, so bear with me. I'm still trying to figure some things out, some kinks and stuff. I will be in the future like changing up my style, changing up the lighting, the audio, wherever I can tweak it. If you have any suggestions or comments or concerns, simply just comment in the comments below the video and I will get back to you when I can. So I will dive into the reading now. Now please keep in mind that this reading is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. If for some reason this reading doesn't resonate with you, you can just check your other placements and check other videos with those placements. Also, keep in mind that this is a general reading, so it will not pertain to every single Gemini out there, but take what works for you and leave the rest. Now, I'm just going to let you know how my spread goes, since this is the first round of videos that I'm making. I will be doing multiple decks here, using multiple decks. I'm going to be using the Energy Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor, just to start off the reading. I will also be using the Romance Angels to get a more balanced outlook on your love life, and then I will be using the Witch's Tarot to clarify the cards on the table. And because you can't see my spread, unfortunately, I will be holding them up so that you can see them as well. Now, angels and guides, welcome to our sacred space. Can you please tell my Gemini what they need to know in regards to their life for the new moon on December 14th? One more card, please. There we go. I mean, everyone's kind of feeling this way this time of year, but on the bottom there's the yin and yang. You might be feeling out of balance right now with either a person or a job. Perhaps you yourself are just feeling at conflict and at odds with yourself right now. Either way, there's some imbalance going on, and you are not alone in that. Just saying. That has come up for a few of my readings so far. Now to use the Romance Angels to see just what you need to know in regards to your love life right now. Okay. Spirit and guides, please guide my Gemini. Please tell them what they need to know about their love lives for the new moon on December 14th. Two more cards, please. There we go. And this situation, whatever it may pertain to, you'll know more than anyone, requires trust. Trust in the universe, trust in each other, and more importantly, trust in yourself. Trust that you have everything that you need to move forward on your path in a productive and stable way. Okay. I'll dive into the reading here. Just shuffle my tarot. The very first card that is coming up is showing a lot of instability in the mind right now. There's a lot going on in your heads, Gemini. And it doesn't surprise me, you are the master sign of overanalyzing. Here is the thinking man in reverse. Now I can say that you overanalyze because I'm a Cancer, Gemini cusp, and I too overanalyze. So you're not alone in that. But the thinking man here, he is very much in reverse. He's not thinking clearly. He's really trying to push out the world right now. Again, this energy is not gender specific. So this could be yourself, someone you're dealing with. I feel like this more is your energy though. And it could be that you're very scattered right now. You don't know what to believe. You don't know what to think. It can be a little stressful right now because of COVID and all the restrictions right now. It could be really playing with your mind. But we will dive into it and see just what they want you to know. We will clarify these. Oh, they have a lot to say here. Okay. So the very first one is the Queen of Wands in reverse. Now this is a woman. Again, energy is not gender specific, but in this regard, this Queen of Wands, usually when she's upright, she will go after anything she sets her mind to. Perhaps that's what the problem is. You're really faltering in your self-trust, in your confidence right now. Perhaps you're overanalyzing so much that it's really playing, sorry, I'm getting a glare. It's really playing a huge part on your self-confidence. When she's in reverse, she's doubting herself, and that's never a good thing. You do not want to doubt yourself. And this doubt is creating inaction. So she's not going after what she wants. Universe is here to tell you, hey, it's time. It's time to get her to go back right up. Because it could be that you really need this tower moment. Now, the tower is in reverse as well, so there could be a delay. But it's inevitable. This tower is going to come. When the tower comes, there's a need for it to completely break down. There's a need for some conflict to come and just strip this building down so that you can rebuild a solid foundation. It could be that you just came out of this tower moment. Perhaps this was in the past and it really, really played on your mind. Perhaps it really shook you off your feet, so you're at a standstill right now. And I can kind of see this because in the past you may have had a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress building up in your mind. It looks to me like this period is over. Because it's in the reverse, you're no longer being held back by this. You're able to refocus the mind, get rid of that negative inner dialogue saying that, hey, you can't do this, or I shouldn't have done this. The would have, should have, could have dialogue, first of all, needs to fly out the window. Things happen for a reason. We need to stop. We need to do the 3 R's. You need to recognize what's going on. You need to reflect, and you need to release. That's pretty much what it comes down to. So really take that into consideration, because it looks like there was a lot of conflict for someone. This could be between people. This could be at your workplace even. It could be a conflict of interest, because this is very much about the mind. It could also be a conflict in your relationship. Either way, there is conflict here, but it's bringing a lot of clarity eventually. But here it shows that you have the power all along. With this card in upright, this is the 8 of Swords. When it's in the upright, you feel like you are stuck. You feel like you're a victim. You have no control over the situation, and you are bound and tied and cannot get out of it. With it in the reverse, that means that you took off that blindfold, you took control of your life, and you are now walking out of those swords. You are capable of turning this around. You are capable of walking away and gaining that mental clarity again. Now, it could be in regards to your love life. It could be that perhaps you met a new love and it didn't turn out the way that you thought it would. Or it could be that maybe you're wanting a new start, but that the person you're with really wasn't ready. Or it could be the conflict in regard, like specifically you had a fight with your loved one and now the communication is nilch. Perhaps you guys are taking time apart right now, and that's okay. I mean, it's with any conflict, there needs to be a time where you separate briefly and reflect so that you can really step forward back into the relationship with a clearer mind, a more honest and open throat chakra so you can communicate better, and a less hurt heart. So take care of yourself first, fill your own cup, and then come back to that relationship and say, are you ready to give this another shot? Am I okay? We can move forward. Now it shows this card in reverse means that you're still stuck in this difficulty for a little bit. If it was in the upright, it would show you leaving the situation, transitioning out of a bad situation into a better one. But right now you're kind of in the thick of it. And perhaps this is also speaking to you're not ready to walk away from this person, which is more than fair if you're willing to work on it. You have to put in the work, otherwise nothing is going to change. But your partner does too. That's where things come in here. So you need to bring some new life, I think, some new emotions into the situation. Because with the Page of Water here, there's an offering, there's an apology, but there's also an offering of love again. So this shows that, hey, your partner isn't done with you, and it doesn't look like you're done with them either. You're not drowning in your emotions. You're actually well supported in them. You're in your element, not yours, but she's in her element, and she's not floundering. It's actually a strength. Vulnerability in your emotions can be a big strength in your life, as long as you're willing to dive into them properly. So perhaps, you're not ready to let go, you're not ready to move on, and you're going to give this another chance. So now you have blossoming abundance in reverse. Now this could very well be, when this comes in reverse, I really feel like you might be disconnected from spirit right now. That's not a bad thing. I know I say that a lot. That's not a bad thing, because there's always a purpose behind these things. There's always a lesson to learn, and it brings you better clarity, better abundance down the road, better stability. You learn, you move on, and then you prosper. So it's not going to stay like this forever. And you know that. It's hard to see that when you're in the middle of it. I get that. But I'm here to tell you, because I'm a third party here, I can tell you, hey, snap out of it. You're not going to be stuck. You got it. You got this. But I feel like maybe there's a disconnect from spirit, because sometimes when that happens, you don't recognize the abundance that you already have in your life. It's hard to recognize that when you are feeling in the lack. So when you feel like you're lacking, unfortunately, you're telling the universe, I don't have enough. Instead of being grateful and showing gratitude for what you have, spirit tends to do things backwards, where if you feel grateful, they're going to give you more. They see, hey, she or he appreciates this. Why not give them more? But when you're feeling in the lack, you're fueling that emotion. You are putting your mental, you're putting your intentions and all of your energy into this lack situation. And instead of manifesting abundance, you're manifesting that lack. Hopefully you get where I'm going with this. You really have to be careful with how you manifest things and be very specific. So if this is the case, and that you are feeling this lack, I highly suggest meditating. If you're a meditator, meditating on why you're feeling this way. What is the root cause of feeling this lack? Is it feeling poorly supported by people in your life? Is it like a confidence issue? Is it perhaps you're not on the right path anymore? Perhaps you need to take a time out to figure out what fuels you again. Maybe you need to find that passion in your life again. Do something out of the norm and just kind of move on from that. We get stuck. We do. A lot of times we get stuck, but it is not a forever thing. So now with the abundance in reverse, we're clarifying this now. You have the Four of Swords in reverse. So you're still not seeing things clearly. There's the communication is not there. It almost feels like this person in the upright is defensive. But at least it's in the reverse. I feel like there is there's room for open communication. There's room for growth. So I don't see this as completely shutting yourself out. I feel like that you feel disconnected, but you're wanting to reach out and you're wanting to communicate. And that is the first step for anything. That is the first step, is to be willing to make this change. Now, you have the divine masculine coming through. This is a good sign. It really is. He is the emperor. He has a wonderful family in the background that he's watching. It's his own family. He has a full cup beside him. He is very comfortable on his throne, and he's grounded. He is very prosperous. So this card, I can just hear spirit laughing in my head. That sounds crazy, but they're laughing because, hey, they're saying, look at all this abundance you have. Why do you think you have nothing? Why do you think you're lacking? You have everything that anyone could hope for. You have your throne. You have your cup right beside you there. You know, your family is beautiful, and you have this beautiful stability here. Look at everything you have and be proud of what you have and have achieved over this time. Focus on what you do have and don't focus on what you don't. Now, here's the King of Swords in reverse. Again, your energy, you're an air sign. Very cut off, very no communication, instability in the mind, everything that we've been kind of talking about. Your mind is so powerful. It can either make you or break you. And you've heard of the placebo effect, I'm sure. You know, it has the placebo effect. Like, if you believe something's going to happen, chances are it's going to happen. You're going to make it happen. But you have to first believe that. So again, when you're telling yourself, I can't do this, or I don't have that, you're putting energy into that emotion, into that energy. Instead of saying, I can do this, I can do that, I can have that, I will have that. That draws all the prosperity to you like a moth to a flame. So keep in mind, you want to get yourself out of that headspace. You want to change that inner dialogue. And it's tricky. It really is. It's hard to change the way you look at things or think of things sometimes, especially if you've been this kind of thinker your entire life. And as a Gemini, it can sometimes creep up on you a lot. But it's doable. It takes some practice, but it's doable. And, you know, we're very resilient creatures as human beings. We can change. So try it out. See where it takes you. Maybe start a journal. Start a journal from the first day that you really begin this new change, and document, because I know how much you guys like to document all the changes that it brings into your life, anything that you may notice. Now, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse now too. So maybe this emotion or this intellectual instability is starting to play on your emotions. Like I said earlier, our emotions are very connected to our thought process. It is imperative, because we can talk ourselves in circles in our mind. And especially if you have a negative inner dialogue, it's going to really tear you down. and you're going to feel it. And I feel like a lot of this stems from childhood trauma, where you might have always felt a bit of lack in your life. Um, and that could range from so many different childhood issues, traumas, but ultimately it comes down to, hey, this is something you were taught. Um, and because you were taught it, you can also unlearn it. You can teach yourself how to change that. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. I am not going to sugarcoat that. It is the hardest thing to overcome your mind, but it's doable. And I feel like if you really put in that effort, you know, your mental clarity and your mental thoughts and processes are really going to turn your emotions around. And that's very important, especially this time of year when you're doing so much shadow work and there's so much seasonal affective disorder and COVID, good old C word there. We need emotional stability as best we can, and we need mental clarity as well. So do your best to work on that. And it looks like you have the strength card in the upright. So Spirit is just, you know, completely saying they have your back, hey? Like, you have all the strength in the world. And they're really showing this eternity symbol. They're saying, hey, this is a process. Nothing's going to stay completely the same. Yeah, you might be stuck in a pattern, but it doesn't go in a straight circle. There are lessons to be learned. There's ups and there's downs constantly. So just enjoy the ride. Try and figure out where the strength is deep inside of you. And I will point out too, what I love about this card is there's a vulnerability here. There is, in my opinion, a huge strength in vulnerability. The biggest strength in the world is being vulnerable and being comfortable being vulnerable. And the fact that this woman here is comfortable sitting beside this lion who could potentially harm her in a lot of different ways, and yet she still sits there. She has a lot of courage. She's showing a lot of courage. She's sitting with her demons almost. And not saying like lions are demons, but, you know, they have that unpredictable aspect to them. You know, they're a giant kitty. So yeah, they might come up and start purring at you, but chances are they're not going to. So the fact that she can sit there and just honor that moment with this lion and be in its presence without a terrified look on her face even shows that this woman is very courageous. So tap into this energy. It's there for you. Your guides, ask your guides for this kind of energy and this kind of strength to get you through this time. Now it shows here. Now, this could be weighing on your relationships too. There's the Two of Cups in reverse, so there's a disconnect at this time between two lovers, two soulmates. This is the soulmate card coming together. Usually they're soulmates with their hand fasting, and it's a divine union. It's beautiful, but right now it's disconnected. You could be taking a break out right now from a loved one. And, you know, like I said, maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need time apart so that you can understand where the communication needs to be, where your emotions need to be. I feel like almost all signs right now are kind of taking that time out in some form because this is the shadow time of year. This is when everything comes to a close right before a new year. And we're all kind of just stuck in our houses right now. What else are we going to do but sit there and think and overthink and think some more? So really dive into this, figure out what is causing this disturbance. It could also just be on their end too, which I'm not going to say is out of your control because there's a reason why they're feeling that way. And your best option is to ask them. Do not ever assume that you know why they are upset. I would rather you ask them straight up, you know, grow up hair and just say, what is going on? Please communicate openly with me, because when you start filling in the blanks yourself, that's when miscommunication and misinterpretation happen. And a lot of times what we do is we bring our own trauma from the past and we fill that space with our own trauma. So if we're feeling insecure about our partner not communicating, sometimes that can bring the inner dialogue of our childhood back, saying, I'm not enough, I'm not worth it, I'm not good. And so you're thinking they are thinking that too. But in reality, they could just be thinking, holy crap, I've had quite the work week and I need to breathe. But here's this person who I love dearly, but they're sitting in front of me just blah, 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 blah. Let's face it, you guys love to talk, but maybe they just need some space is all I'm saying. And from that disconnect, you're getting, I'm not enough. That's not the case. So please be aware that that can happen a lot, and it happens to everyone. But what it boils down to is it's fixable. You just need to openly communicate as best you can. One good thing though is that I pulled this. Yes, it's in reverse, so there might be a delay there. This is the Wheel of the Year, or the Wheel of Fortune in traditional tarot. There might be a little bit of a delay, but Spirit actually wanted me to flip this. They're saying, hey, this delay is just a hiccup. All of the fortune that you are looking for, this blossoming abundance, is coming through. And it's going to come through rather quickly. You just need to change your mindset to be open to receive it. You have the power to flip this over. You have the power to flip this back right up. So quickly say, hey, I'm worth it. I deserve to receive abundance from the universe. Sometimes it's as simple as that, believing that you deserve it. Now we got the Goddess of the Moon. I love this card. And yet sometimes it can be a little tumultuous, tempestuous, a little bit, because it really, as glorious as it appears, the Goddess of the Moon is bringing to light everything that is in the shadows right now. Everything that we want to hide from, everything that we want to hide. And we don't like uncovering those kinds of things, do we? Not all the time. Most of the time we don't. It's easier just to kind of be a ostrich and shove our head in the sand, pretend it's not happening. That doesn't solve anything, unfortunately. It only delays the inevitable. The phrase ripping a Band-Aid off comes to mind. And so really sometimes you just need to dig deep and figure out what, this could pertain to secrets. Maybe there's secrets in a relationship. This could pertain to aspects of your past coming forward that you thought were long gone. Either way, they're not. And it's time to address it. Okay. Okay, that was too many cards. And one more. There it is. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Seven of Wands. Feeling a wee bit defensive. Maybe you feel like you're being backed into a corner. Maybe you feel like the world is on your shoulders and everyone is against you. That is not the case. I can guarantee that. You are not alone, and you are not the only one that may be feeling that way right now either. That was just a side note. Sorry. I digress. So back to the Goddess of the Moon. So the Two of Wands is here in the reverse. There's a delay again. Another delay. Usually with the Two of Wands, you're forging ahead. If it's in the upright, you're forging ahead. This is the beginning of something new and passionate. Could be like something to do with your passions at work. A new endeavor that you're following. Again, There's a kitty. Sorry, I love cats. But either way, it also speaks about having to make a decision between two different paths. Well, with it in the reverse, you're not going anywhere. You're stuck. You're choosing not to decide about something. And it could be that there's a lot of conflict. Again, conflict coming up. And you can see it's very heated. There's a lot of fire in there. Oh, look at that. Actually, there isn't even fire. That was my interpretation, but that's actually a dragon. Sorry, guys. Perhaps they wanted me to state that there's fire there because it's a passionate discourse between people. So because of that, actually, they just told me when you fight, it reveals your passion for someone. I know that's kind of a backwards way of looking at it, but it shows that not only do you still value yourself, but there's like this passionate reciprocation. You know, it's like all I can see is just two fireballs coming at each other. And although that is a negative way to look at it, it's a lot of heat. It's a lot of energy. At least things aren't stagnant. That's what I'm getting. At least things haven't just kind of fallen apart and like you're at a standstill. There's still energy here. So that means that all is not lost. It might feel like you're at a standstill and, you know, you're not sure how to move forward, but sometimes you just need to get things out. Now, the Knight of Wands is here, but it's in reverse. So this speaks of things slowing down a bit. Not quite at a standstill, like it's still coming, just a little bit delayed. But here is the passionate, if it's in the upright, passion moving forward at a quick pace. Again, they're reiterating something is holding you back. Something to do with perhaps miscommunicating about secrets or something in the past. Not honoring your own self, your own divinity. I really feel like there's so many emotions with this goddess of the moon. There's so many. Perhaps there's a lot of emotions that you need to discuss right now. And at least they're getting discussed. Even though it might come out in a lot of fighting, fiery fighting, at least they are getting voiced. But as much as you're at a standstill, Gemini, you have abundance coming. The 10 of Pentacles. That is everything that you were waiting for. Your blossoming abundance